At the birthday banquet of my fiancé Lu Ruyan's grandmother, Wai Tengqing, the foster son my father brought home, suddenly snatched the birthday gift from my hands. He shouted loudly, "Grandmother Lu! My little brother Yongzi is immature and failed to prepare a celebratory gift for you. Please don't hold it against him. Once I return home, I'll have my father teach him a proper lesson." His mocking and contemptuous tone rang in my ears. In the past, I certainly would not have fought him and would have only endured it in silence. But unfortunately, I have just been reborn. I immediately snatched the gift back and slammed it onto the ground without hesitation. The premium imperial green jade bracelet shattered into 3 pieces, scattering before everyone. Looking at Wai Tengqing's pale face, I let out a cold, mocking sneer. "Look at your pathetic, uncultured self. You actually want to use the Qi family's property to show off? And your father is going to teach me a lesson? Do you have the guts to bring your biological father here, the one who just got out after 10 years in prison?" The atmosphere of the banquet instantly fell into silence. People looked at each other, then began to whisper and gossip. Wai Tengqing's expression twisted for a split second, but he quickly regained his composure, adopting a gentle and tolerant facade. "Boda, I know you're unhappy because I didn't prepare a gift. But this is Grandmother Lu's birthday banquet. The only reason you could even show up is because Ruyan begged on your behalf." This forbearing attitude immediately garnered much sympathy. Someone couldn't help but speak up. "Qi Boda, the Qi family was kind enough to adopt you. Do you actually think you're a member of the Qi family? Young Master Wai Tengqing is the sole heir, the true crown prince." Hearing this, a flash of smugness appeared on Wai Tengqing's face. He stepped forward and patted my shoulder. "Boda, didn't you say before that you liked this year's limited edition Patek Philippe men's watch? Wait until we get back and I'll give you one. Stop causing trouble at Grandmother Lu's banquet." As soon as these words were spoken, the previously calm banquet erupted into a wave of excitement. A limited edition Patek Philippe? I remember there are only 5 in the entire world, costing over 30 million, and they're nearly impossible to buy. The Crown Prince is truly generous, giving it away just like that. But that Yongzi fellow is truly shameless, acting like that and still refusing to get out of the Qi family. Accusations constantly rang in my ears. Everything was exactly the same as in my previous life. In my past life, Qi Wendong poured all the hatred he felt for my mother's death onto me. When I was 5 years old, he adopted Wai Tengqing and frequently took him to social circles, leading everyone to believe he was the heir. Even the birthday gift I clearly prepared was framed as being stolen by Wai Tengqing, leading to my humiliation and mockery. But now that I have been reborn, how could I let that continue? I brushed his hand off and laughed with disdain. "That watch was mine to begin with. Since when did it become something you're giving to me? Wai Tengqing, you've used my name to deceive people for so long that you've forgotten what you are, haven't you? If not, let me help you clear your head. I heard your biological father is looking for you now that he's out of prison. Perhaps I should be merciful and help you two reunite." Wai Tengqing's face flashed with fear. Just as the two sides were at a standoff, a voice suddenly rang out. "What are you all doing?" The crowd immediately parted to create a path. The matriarch of the Lu family approached, leaning on her cane. After understanding the situation, her eyes narrowed slightly. "Qi Boda, is it? I've heard Ruyan mention you a few times. Qing is kind-hearted and doesn't hold a grudge against you, yet you cause trouble time and time again. Don't blame me for being unkind." Hearing the warning in her words, I burst out laughing. "Unkind? Wasn't this marriage alliance years ago something you Lius shamelessly begged the Qi family for? Now you want to turn your back on us?" Unexpectedly blunt, Grandmother Lu immediately shouted, "How dare you? A mere Yongzi like you dares to talk nonsense here, trying to ruin my banquet? Guards! Throw this troublemaker out immediately." The guards immediately surrounded me, but I spoke up slowly. "Old madam, the hotel hosting this banquet today is an asset under my Qi family's name. You want to kick me out? Whoever dares to touch me, I will make sure they can never work in this industry again starting tomorrow." Under the scrutinizing gazes and blatant gossip echoing throughout the hall, I calmly swept my eyes around and spoke coldly. Before you open your mouths to talk nonsense, you'd better think about whether you dare to offend the Chi family. My assertive attitude made everyone hesitate. Grandmother Lu slammed her cane hard against the ground. Though she was furious, she ultimately didn't dare to directly kick me out. Get Ruyan over here. She has met her fiancé at the Chi household. I want to see how much of what this brat says is true. As soon as the words were out, Lu Ruyan rushed over. Everyone's eyes immediately fell on her. Lu Ruyan's expression was ugly as she pulled me aside, her voice low. Chi Boda, have you gone mad? Do you know how much difficulty you're causing Aicheng? Seeing the look of disgust in her eyes, I suddenly laughed. In my previous life, Wai Tengqing was able to easily replace me in front of everyone because of Lu Ruyan's help. Years ago, the old master of the Lu family helped my maternal grandfather once. Taking that opportunity, the Lu family forced the Chi family to set a marriage contract between me and Lu Ruyan. But while she was my fiancée in name, behind my back she always supported Wai Tengqing, attending countless high society banquets hand in hand with him, vaguely hinting at her feelings for him. This led many to believe her fiancé was Wai Tengqing. In my past life, even though she witnessed him constantly framing me, she never spoke a word. Yet now, she was the first to speak out against me. I jerked my hand away from her grip and questioned her sternly. Then why do you always tacitly accept him as the Chi family heir? Without your silent approval, where would he get the nerve to publicly impersonate me in front of so many people? Now you say you're afraid of making things difficult for him, but what about me? Have you ever thought about how wronged I've been? Lu Ruyan, I advise you to think carefully. Either you clarify my identity and Wai Tengqing's right here, or this engagement ends right now. Grandmother Lu, seeing her granddaughter hesitate, couldn't help but urge. Ruyan, what else are you saying to him? You two have had an engagement since you were children. How could you not even recognize your own fiancé? Wai Tengqing also rushed forward to grab Lu Ruyan's hand. His face was pale, but he struggled to maintain his composure. It's okay, Ruyan. Perhaps Boda is just agitated by his father's situation, which is why he's making a scene today. Just go along with him, it's fine to let him vent his anger. A look of heartache flashed in Lu Ruyan's eyes. Immediately after, she squeezed Wai Tengqing's hand without hesitation, her voice full of determination. Aicheng, what are you saying? You are my boyfriend, how could I help someone else instead of you? At this point, Lu Ruyan grit her teeth and turned to look at me, her tone accusatory. Chi Boda. I know you don't want to be found by your biological father. You're afraid he hates you for reporting him to the police years ago, so you think he wants revenge. But if you had told the truth, Aicheng and I would have helped you. However, you absolutely should not have caused a mess at my grandmother's banquet and framed Aicheng. Aicheng is magnanimous and won't hold it against you. I advise you to be sensible and stop this now. As soon as these words left her lips, the gazes of everyone in the room grew even more disgusted. A bastard is still just a bastard. Raised for so many years and he still hasn't acquired a shred of the Chi family's grace. How could he possibly compare to the young master, the crown prince? To even dare impersonate someone else's identity, how shameless. His biological father is a criminal. What good could possibly come from the son? Grandmother Lu slammed her cane against the ground once more, letting out a cold, contemptuous laugh. Now that Ruyan herself has personally stated you are not a member of the Chi family, what else do you have to explain? Ruyan had been visiting the Chi household since before you were even adopted. For all these years, she was the one who brought Aicheng to the Lu residence. Do you truly think that just because you were adopted and given the Chi surname, you are actually a Chi? The sheer brazenness of Lu Ruyan and the old woman's ignorance made me erupt into a mocking laugh. So, bearing the Chi name doesn't make one a member of the family, but bearing the name Wai Tung does? I struck back without hesitation. If any of you had a brain to think with, you'd know that my father is nothing more than a son-in-law who married into the Chi family, a mere live-in husband. How could he possibly decide that the sole heir of the Chi family would carry the surname Wai Tung? You keep claiming my father was generous enough to let me take the Chi name, But do you honestly believe the surname of the Qi household is something an outsider like him has the authority to bestow? In these high society circles, there is an unwritten rule. A man who marries into a family, whether he divorces or not, has no right to give his children his own surname. They must carry the mother's surname for life. As these words were spoken, many people were jolted into remembering this truth. It was a fact that had been deliberately obscured for years, but now that I mentioned it, everyone began to notice the abnormality. Wei Tengqing's expression changed instantly as he hurried to speak. Boda, I know you're upset. Lu Ruyan and I have exposed you, but back then, my mother defied her family's wishes to marry my father. It's just a surname, what does it matter? Even if I don't carry the Qi name, the blood of the Qi family still flows through me. Can you really deny my identity just because of this? Hearing this, my palms reflexively clenched into fists. What deep marital affection! It was all a farce. In my past life, my mother died of a hemorrhage after giving birth to me. I had always believed Qi Wendong hated me because of her death, that he despised me so much he adopted Wei Tengqing to suppress and torment me. For years, I had been cautious, following his every word. He didn't allow me to go public with my identity, so I endured it in silence. He didn't take me to banquets, and I didn't dare utter a single word of complaint. But what did I get in return? I watched Wei Tengqing flagrantly use my name to run rampant within the Qi family, and I watched him bring about my death to seize the entire Qi estate. It was the bitter truth that Qi Wendong never hated me because of my mother's death, but for another reason entirely. It was a pity I only understood that at the moment of my death. But now that I have been reborn, I certainly won't let them get away with it. In that case, let's bring my father here right now. I looked coldly at Wei Tengqing as he continued his act, shaking the phone in my hand. I notified father early on. He should be arriving any moment now. Wei Tengqing's face flashed with discomfort. He knew better than anyone how much Qi Wendong doted on him, how much he loathed me, and how much I had always feared Qi Wendong. Until now, even when sending him a text, I had to be careful with every single word. Yet today, I dared to call him here directly to witness this, even forcing him to choose between me and him. Wei Tengqing began to panic. He wasn't sure if I had another ace up my sleeve. His face forced out a strained smile as he leaned in and whispered to me, Boda, this is just a small matter. Father is so busy. Why make a scene and drag him all the way here? If you're still frustrated, can't we talk this over slowly when we get home? I stepped closer to him, gripping his arm tightly, my voice dripping with mockery. You keep calling me an imposter, so now that there's a chance to prove your point, why don't you want it anymore? Or are you afraid that when father arrives, he will personally expose you in front of everyone, fly into a rage, and kick you out of the Qi house? The moment I finished, Wei Tengqing's face darkened completely. He raised his hand to strike me, but I was one step faster, landing a punch straight to his face that sent him sprawling to the ground. In the next second, a furious roar echoed from the entrance. Qi Boda, what do you think you're doing? Qi Wendong rushed in, fuming with rage, and immediately moved to help Wei Tengqing up. Aicheng, are you all right? I crossed my arms and watched coldly as he lifted Wei Tengqing, a sarcastic smile playing on my lips. Father, you finally arrived. It seems you only showed up because you heard your precious Yongzi was hurt. As for me, your own flesh and blood, I suppose I'm not worth your concern at all. Hearing this, Grandmother Lu immediately hurried to interject. President Qi, look at this wild child. He has absolutely no sense of propriety. Aicheng prepared a birthday gift for me, yet he smashed it right in front of everyone. He even had the audacity to frame Aicheng as an imposter, claimed Ruyan was lying, and now he's bold enough to declare to your face that he is your biological son. At these words, Qi Wendong's face turned slightly pale. Immediately after, he bellowed. Nonsense. I only have one son, and that is Aicheng. What is this brat supposed to be? I only took him in out of a momentary lapse of kindness, yet he doesn't know his place. As soon as he said this, the surrounding crowd erupted into a commotion, chiming in one after another. President Qi, you're finally here. You have no idea how much Qi Boda humiliated the crown prince just now. Exactly. He even dared to lay a hand on the crown prince in front of everyone. I think someone who doesn't know their place like him should be kicked out of the Qi family to fend for himself. Wai Tengqing also slowly stood up, wiping the blood from the corner of his mouth, acting the part of the magnanimous victim as he advised me. Boda, just apologize quickly. Don't make father angry anymore. I picked up a wine glass nearby, gently swirling the liquid inside, and slowly cut him off. Qi Wendong, I'm asking you one last time, are you certain that your biological son, the sole heir of the Qi family, is Wai Tengqing and not me? Seeing me stubbornly press the issue, the crowd couldn't help but burst into mocking laughter, ridiculing my lack of self-awareness. Qi Wendong straightened his back, his voice full of certainty. Of course. How could I possibly misidentify my own son? The moment he finished, I hurled the wine glass in my hand directly at his forehead, then quickly followed up with another punch to Wai Tengqing's face. No one expected me to strike so suddenly. The entire hall instantly fell into chaos. Qi Boda, have you gone crazy? The Qi family raised you for years, yet you dare to hit even your own father. At that exact moment, an aged but powerful voice rang out from the doorway. If he can't even recognize his own son, I'd say he hasn't been hit hard enough. I turned around in delight and saw my maternal grandmother standing tall, entering the hall with an air of absolute authority. The moment I saw her, I didn't think twice before rushing over to embrace her tightly. Grandmother, you're finally here. With tears welling in her eyes, she slowly tilted her head up to stroke my face, patting my back gently. Her voice was tender yet resolute. Don't be afraid, Boda. Your grandfather still has some business to handle, but I am here to be your backbone. Upon seeing my grandmother appear, Qi Wendong's face turned instantly ashen. Mother, why are you here? Before he could finish his sentence, grandmother gave a slight nod. The bodyguards at her side charged forward immediately, delivering a powerful blow that sent Qi Wendong sprawling onto the ground. If I hadn't come, how could I have witnessed you joining forces with outsiders to bully my precious grandson with my own eyes? Her protective words filled my heart with a deep sense of remorse. In my past life, because I was deceived by Qi Wendong, I always believed my maternal grandparents resented me for the loss of their daughter, which was why they hadn't looked for me all those years. It wasn't until the final moments before my death that Wai Tengqing gloatingly told me the truth. Qi Wendong had used the excuse that I didn't want to see them to keep them away. The gifts they sent were secretly given to Wai Tengqing so he could impersonate me. When I went missing, my grandparents desperately searched for me, but Qi Wendong orchestrated a car accident that ensured they would never have the chance to see me again. That was why, immediately after my rebirth, I didn't hesitate to call the phone number etched into my memory and tell my grandparents everything I had endured. Qi Wendong gritted his teeth and looked at me, hurriedly trying to justify himself to grandmother. Mother, this is just a misunderstanding. Boda has been shy since he was a child and isn't good at socializing at large parties, so I let Aiqing stand in for him. They are brothers. Wouldn't it be better if they shouldered the weight of the Qi family together in the future? Grandmother only let out a cold laugh, her eyes filled with pure contempt. Brothers? Qi Wendong, do not forget that you are merely a son-in-law who married into the Qi family. Back then, you said you wanted to adopt Wai Tengqing just to be a companion for Boda, so I allowed him to enter the Qi house to enjoy a life of luxury. But since when has he been allowed to stand as Boda's equal, even daring to covet everything that belongs to him? Wai Tengqing brushed off Lu Ruyan's hand and stepped forward with a look of grievance, speaking loudly. Great Madam Qi. I have been wholeheartedly devoted to the Qi family all this time. Do I not deserve even a shred of recognition? Qi Wendong was so terrified his soul nearly left his body. He hurriedly pulled Wai Tengqing back, hissing in a low, angry voice, Aiqing, are you insane? Shut your mouth right now. Recognition. Grandmother scoffed with disdain, her eyes full of loathing as she looked at Wai Tengqing. Wai Tengqing, do you truly think I am as foolish as Qi Wendong? The wholehearted devotion you speak of is nothing more than seizing the opportunity to drive a wedge between me and Boda. If you truly had talent, you would build your own career, and then I might respect you slightly. But if you only want to impersonate Boda to climb the social ladder, you'd best give up right now. Grandmother looked around the room, declaring clearly word by word. From this day forward, everything belonging to the Qi family belongs only to Boda. Whether it is Qi Wendong or Wai Tengqing, do not even dream of taking a single cent. Boda, come home with me. Her Majesty reduced the entire hall to a terrifying silence. Walking out of the party, Grandmother affectionately stroked my face. Boda, don't be afraid. With your grandfather and me here, we will certainly provide you with a solid foundation. Grandmother took me home and told me to pack my bags to return with her to the Qi ancestral home. But as soon as we reached the villa gates, the butler, Lai, saw me and wore a look of displeasure, his tone filled with scorn. Why are you the only one back? Where are young Master Wai Tengqing and Mr. Qi? Did you abandon them at the party? No wonder Mr. Qi hasn't been able to stand you for all these years. Grandmother held my hand and took a step forward, staring coldly at Butler Li. Is this the good servant Qi Wendong has trained? A mere gatekeeping butler dares to point fingers at the master of this house. Butler Li could afford to look down on me, but he panicked instantly when he recognized Grandmother. Old madam? Why are you here? Out of respect for your father's service to the Qi family, I allowed you in here to care for Boda. A salary of tens of millions a month, and yet I've raised an ungrateful wretch like you? Evict him and his father immediately. Ignoring Butler Li's pleas as he fell to his knees, Grandmother didn't give him a second thought. She walked with me into the villa that had originally been built as a gift for my mother. Seeing that the climbing rose garden my mother loved had been uprooted and replaced with red roses to suit Lu Ruian's taste, her eyes reddened. Who changed everything here? A servant stepped forward, their tone flippant. Young Master Wai Tengqing liked it, so of course it had to be changed. Also, you old woman, who are you? Master Qi, please don't just bring outsiders in here. If she happens to have some infectious disease that spreads to young Master Wai Tengqing, can you take responsibility? Grandmother was so enraged she slapped the servant across the face. If you don't know how to speak to your master, then today I shall personally teach you. The servant glared back with resentment. You old hag. Do you believe I'll report this to young Master Wai Tengqing and Mr. Qi so they can kick both of you out of here right now? I took Grandmother's hand and said coldly, ignoring hierarchy, insolent toward the master. Immediately, the bodyguards rushed up and gagged him. Nanny Li, Butler Li's wife, ran out from the kitchen, her face turning deathly pale when she saw Grandmother. Grandmother looked at the dining table covered in seafood, her gaze sharp. Nanny Li, Boda is allergic to seafood and dislikes cilantro. Do you mean to tell me you didn't know? Then who was this food cooked for? Do I pay you high wages to care for Boda or to bully him? I spoke softly to calm Grandmother down and led her upstairs to my room. When she saw that my bedroom was nothing more than a small, cramped storage room while the largest room belonged to Wai Tengqing, she burst into uncontrollable sobs. I held her and said firmly, I want to burn every piece of furniture in this villa, then rebuild it from scratch and restore it to the way my mother loved it. Grandmother nodded. This villa was originally in your name, you have the right to decide everything. I ordered the bodyguards to take all the furniture from the rooms out to the yard to be burned and fired all the servants. The servants cried out in panic. We were hired by Mr. Qi and young Master Wai Tengqing. What right do you have? I swept my gaze over them. The money for your wages comes from the Qi family account. For years you have stolen my belongings to sell. I might not prosecute on the condition that you clear out your things and leave immediately. Otherwise, I won't hesitate to report every single one of you to the police. Caught red-handed, they scrambled to pack. At that moment, Qi Wendong and Wai Tengqing returned, witnessing the chaotic scene. Wai Tengqing rushed forward in a panic, trying to snatch the lighter from my hand, but I quickly stepped aside and decisively tossed it into the pile of belongings in the center of the yard. The flames roared up, devouring everything. Qi Boda. Those are my things. Wai Tengqing wailed in agony. I stood tall beside Grandmother and gave a cold sneer. Your things? These were all bought by Qi Wendong using my grandmother's credit card. Using my money to buy things for you. Now that I'm burning them, what right do you have to complain? Qi Wendong pointed a finger at me, so consumed by rage that he was momentarily speechless. Qi Boda. You have a lot of nerve. Grandmother pulled my hand back, looking at him coldly. Chi Wundong, I believe you are the one with too much nerve. I made it clear when this villa was built that nothing was to be changed, yet you dared to destroy all of my daughter's belongings for the sake of that foster son. Fine then, if you cherish him so much, go live a life of poverty with him. The dismissal papers from the conglomerate have already been prepared, and all of your real estate assets will be reclaimed. You no longer have the right to use anything. From this day forward, I never want to see you appear before Boda ever again. With that, grandmother led me away, leaving Chi Wundong and Wai Tengqing standing there, trembling with fury but completely powerless. Grandmother took me back to the Chi ancestral home and recounted everything I had endured to my maternal grandfather. Grandfather was so enraged he smashed several teacups, hissing through gritted teeth. Chi Wundong. Back then he promised everything, that he would treat Boda well, yet he allowed a foster son to trample over my grandson. If I had handed the Chi family over to him back then, imagine what a mess things would be now. Seeing grandfather's fury, I hurried forward to calm him. Grandfather, please don't be so angry, it will affect your health. Besides, don't you find it strange? Wai Tengqing is merely a foster son, so why does Chi Wundong value him so much? Grandmother frowned in suspicion. Boda, do you mean you suspect the relationship between them isn't so simple? Grandfather let out a cold snort, his voice dropping. If he dared to treat Boda like that, there is nothing he wouldn't do. Leave this matter to me. Hearing him say that, I knew I had nothing left to worry about. That night, I had the best sleep I'd had in over a decade. The next morning, I found my phone flooded with hundreds of missed calls and messages from Chi Wundong, Wai Tengqing, Lu Ruyan, and those who had previously trampled on me. Without hesitation, I blocked them all. After breakfast, the butler rushed in to report, "Old master, old madam, young master, someone from the Lu family has arrived seeking an audience." Grandfather turned to me, "Boda, do you wish to see them?" I thought for a moment and nodded. Since they are already here, let's settle this once and for all. The butler brought the Lu family in. As soon as they entered, Mr. Lu pushed Lu Ruyan hard onto the ground, his face full of remorse and his voice trembling. "Elder Master Chi, this is all the fault of this foolish daughter of mine. She was momentarily muddled yesterday, causing Boda to suffer grievances." He bellowed furiously at her, "Kneel down right now." Lu Ruyan reluctantly knelt, her eyes still filled with resentment as she looked at me. "Boda, I know I was wrong. Haven't you always wanted to marry me? We can pick a date today. But there is one condition, you must stop targeting Aicheng, and you cannot cancel the cooperation contracts with the Lu family." Hearing these shameless words, I burst into laughter. "Lu Ruyan, who do you think you are? Do you really think I'm that desperate to marry you?" Lu Ruyan's face flushed bright red. "Then what do you intend to do? Don't think I don't know you burned all of Aicheng's things and kicked him out of the house yesterday. He is your brother, how can you be so heartless?" Slap. A crisp sound echoed through the living room. Mr. Lu roared in anger. "You truly are an uneducated brat. What are you saying? Wai Tengqing is just a foster son, those things belong to Boda, and he has the right to do whatever he wants with them." Grandfather, who had been silent until now, finally spoke. "Enough. I never agreed to this engagement from the start. I originally intended to support the Lu family to repay a debt to your father, but I didn't expect you to raise such a daughter." The matriarch of the Lu family panicked and interjected, "Ruyan was simply deceived by that Yongzi boy. Please, give her some time." Grandmother stood up and gripped my hand tightly, her voice full of disdain. "No need. My grandson is not a trash bin for picking up discarded goods. If she loves Wai Tengqing so much, we elders should naturally fulfill her wish. This engagement is terminated immediately." Grandmother Lu turned to me for help. "Boda, say something. Haven't you always liked Ruyan?" I gave a faint smile. Who said I liked her? She was merely someone I met a few times, barely even an acquaintance. Without the engagement, I wouldn't even bother to glance at a fool who can't judge character. My words caused the old woman to collapse completely into her chair. Lu Ruyan also rushed forward in a panic, grabbing my hand. "That's impossible. Boda, you're lying to me, right? I immediately jerked my hand away and said decisively, Butler, show the guests out. The following day, I followed grandfather to the company to begin taking over the conglomerate. The most furious person was, of course, Chi Wundong. He brazenly stormed into the main lobby of the group, screaming, Chi Boda is unworthy. If he takes over, the Chi group will surely collapse. However, all he received was being pinned to the ground by security. Grandfather stood beside me, looking at Chi Wundong with cold eyes. Even if the Chi group collapses in Boda's hands, I will never let it become a tool for an outsider like you to suppress him. Besides, Boda's talent is 100 times greater than yours. Under the contemptuous gazes of the entire staff, Chi Wundong was dragged out in utter humiliation. A short time later, on my way back, a large truck suddenly veered directly toward me. Before losing consciousness completely, the last image I saw was Lu Ruyan's eyes, filled with pure hatred. When I woke up, I found myself tied up in an abandoned warehouse. Before me stood Wai Tengqing, his hair disheveled and his eyes full of burning resentment. Chi Boda, you're finally awake. Just as he raised a knife to strike, Lu Ruyan suddenly rushed out to stop him. Wai Tengqing screamed. Why are you stopping me? If it weren't for him, you wouldn't have been discovered as the illegitimate child your mother had through an affair. We wouldn't be in this mess. This revelation shocked me. It turned out Lu Ruyan was not Mr. Lu's biological daughter. Her face twisted as she spoke coldly to Wai Tengqing. If you kill him, where will the money come from? Don't forget that those 2 old fossils from the Qi family have already started investigating your background. Chi Wundong walked in from outside, looking at Wai Tengqing with reproach. Qing, Ruyan is right. If you hadn't tried to show off at that birthday banquet, we wouldn't be in this situation. Lu Ruyan pressed the knife against my neck. Boda, convince your grandfather to transfer 3 billion to us, and we will let you go. I couldn't help but let out a sarcastic laugh. Lu Ruyan, you knew early on that you weren't a Lu, which is why you clung to me while simultaneously seducing Wai Tengqing. Because you knew exactly what the relationship between him and Chi Wundong was, didn't you? Chi Wundong, you are as incompetent as you are ambitious. You brought back your ex-girlfriend's son and worked hard for years to deceive everyone into thinking he was my mother's biological child, all just to seize the Chi family. Exposed, Lu Ruyan ruthlessly prepared to cut my finger. But she didn't expect that the ropes on my hands had long since been severed. I delivered a kick straight to her stomach just as the police stormed the warehouse. In the chaos, I looked at Chi Wundong, who was lying there groaning, and delivered one final blow. Oh, I almost forgot. That time you took my mother out and had that accident, you completely lost your ability to reproduce. Therefore, Wai Tengqing is not your biological son either. You were played. Chi Wundong's face went instantly white. I knew deep down he believed it, because in all these years, he had never been able to father another child. The case was closed, and all 3 of them received heavy sentences. Not long after, news arrived. Chi Wundong, consumed by humiliation, had bribed someone to beat Wai Tengqing to death in prison before committing suicide himself. As for Lu Ruyan, she developed terminal cancer while serving her sentence. Before she died, she had someone send me a letter. My secretary brought it in and asked, Master Chi, don't you want to open it and see? I looked at the letter silently for a moment, then took a lighter and burned it without hesitation. Each piece of paper turned to ash, vanishing into the air. I looked out the window at the clear blue sky. I had a completely new life. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more upcoming episodes.